Movie opens with a young woman named Ita washing clothes in a bathroom. Suddenly, she senses someone behind her. When she turns, she's face to face with a terrifying figure, an old, haggard woman with eerie, glowing eyes. Ita lets out a piercing scream, and her friends rush to the bathroom. When she opens the door, she stands frozen, as if her very soul has been drained, her eyes wide and unblinking. The story flashes back 2 days earlier. Ita is chatting with her childhood friend Maya. Maya excitedly shares her plans for a hiking trip with her brother and cousins, inviting Ita along. Ita hesitates, worried her mother won't allow it. As they talk, Ita runs her fingers through her hair and a few strands come loose, sticking to her hand. She looks upset, tosses the hair aside, and brushes it off. The next day, Maya visits Ita's house to convince her mother to let her go hiking. After some discussion, Ita's mom reluctantly agrees. As Ita walks Maya out, Maya catches a glimpse of a shadowy figure with glowing red eyes standing behind Ita. Terrified, Maya hurries away, while Ita, confused, glances back but sees nothing. Something sinister seems to linger in Ita's home, already affecting her mind and body. The scene shifts to the hiking trip. The group arrives at their destination, but it's already dark, so they decide to spend the night in a guest house. That night, Ita feels sharp pains in her stomach. She confides in Maya, who suggests they return home, warning that hiking in the mountains might not be safe in her condition. But Ita refuses. She fought hard for her mother's permission and doesn't want to miss this chance. She's determined to make the trip unforgettable, despite the pain. Later, in the bathroom while washing clothes, Ita encounters the same horrifying figure from the opening scene. She screams, drawing her friends to the door. When she opens it, she's pale and motionless, as if something has stolen her spirit. Her friends pull her into the room, shaken, and ask what happened. Ita, trembling, describes a tall, thin creature with white hair and glowing red eyes, like an old woman. The guest house owner overhears and grows pale. She reveals that years ago, a similar entity haunted the place, tormenting visitors until rituals were performed to banish it. If it's returned, she warns, it might have followed Ita. Fear ripples through the group. One of the boys suggests sending Ita home, but Maya defends her, knowing how much this trip means to her friend. They all try to sleep it off. The next morning, Ita wakes up bright and energetic, as if nothing happened. The group, reassured by her enthusiasm, grabs their bags and starts trekking. Ita and Maya are captivated by the mountain's beauty. Ita regrets forgetting her camera, wishing she could capture the moment. Back at her house, her mother is cleaning and finds clumps of hair and blood-stained tissues in Ita's trash. Alarmed, she tells Ita's father, who dismisses it as nothing serious, suggesting a doctor's visit when Ita returns. Meanwhile, during the trek, Ita suddenly grows exhausted, breathing heavily, her eyes turning strange. Her friends panic, but when Maya softly calls her name, Ita snaps back to normal. They continue hiking and stop halfway to rest, eat, and joke around, but Ita slips away to a nearby lake. Maya follows, warning her it's unsafe to wander alone. When Ita turns, Maya freezes. Her friend's hands are blackened and unnaturally long, her eyes pure white. With a twisted smile, Ita grabs Maya's throat. The boys rush over at Maya's screams, pulling Ita off with difficulty. As Ita releases Maya, Maya spots a figure in the lake, a tall, white-clad woman with long hair and glowing red eyes, just like the creature Ita described. No one else sees it. The group brings Ita back to the guest house, reviving her with a strong scent. When questioned, Ita remembers nothing. Maya, shaken, suggests Ita might be possessed. Ita laughs it off, calling her crazy for believing in such things. The group debates cutting the trek short, but Ita insists on continuing, determined to reach the mountain's peak. She brushes off their fears, calling it a small hill they'll conquer quickly. Her passion inspires them, and they resume the climb. As they ascend, strange things happen. They hear a child's laughter and sense someone darting around them. Maya glimpses the shadowy figure again, but ignores it, pushing forward. Further along, they spot an old man on the path. As they approach, a deafening, eerie sound pierces their ears, forcing them to cover them in pain. They collapse, and when they wake, the old man is gone. The boys blame Ita, saying her presence is drawing negative energy, especially in her strange condition. Ita glares at them, ignoring their words, and the group presses on. Soon, Ita's condition worsens again. They stop to give her water, but as she drinks, wrinkles crease her forehead, her face twists unnaturally, and her body stiffens. Her lips turn pale, and she smiles as if something else has taken over. The boy who's been skeptical of Ita snaps, saying they can't climb if she's like this. Suddenly, Ita's body trembles and she lets out a chilling laugh that echoes through the mountain forests, sending shivers down everyone's spines. The group stood frozen, fear gripping their hearts. Maya, sensing Ita's fragile mental state, urged everyone, including Ita, to turn back. But Ita, her eyes unnaturally white, spoke in a chilling, cryptic tone. "Leave me! This mountain is mine now!" Blood seeped into her eyes as she spoke, sending the group stumbling back in terror. Maya realized the dark entity she'd seen lurking behind Ita had taken hold of her friend. Defiant, Ita declared she'd reach the summit and destroy anyone who stood in her way. With that, she began climbing alone. The others watched, stunned, as she vanished from sight. Maya, still reeling, noticed an old woman watching them from afar, visible only to her. Maya's secret gift, a spiritual sight, let her see entities others couldn't, explaining why she alone had seen these figures haunting Ita from the start. Desperate, Maya rallied her brother and cousins to chase after Ita. When they found her, Maya rushed forward, tears streaming down her face, begging Ita to stop. Ita, sobbing, insisted this hike would be her greatest memory and refused to leave it unfinished. Maya, moved, convinced her skeptical cousin to support Ita's wish, hoping the climb might somehow restore her. Encouraged, the group pressed upward. But as they climbed higher, Ita's condition worsened. She pushed through, determined, and they finally reached the 3,000-meter peak as night fell. They set up camp to rest, but Ita's health spiraled. Her body stiffened as if possessed, and she collapsed, convulsing. Her cries drew everyone from their tents, but they couldn't help her. Panicked, they descended to find help and met a local man. Seeing Ita's state, he whispered something in her ear. Her eyes turned black, veins around her mouth blued, and her body twisted unnaturally, as if her bones might snap. The man chanted louder, and suddenly, Ita calmed, as if the entity had fled her body. Back at Ita's home, her mother prayed and felt an eerie gaze, though no one was there. She told her husband, who dismissed it with a laugh. Inside the camp, Ita jolted awake, her face morphing into the sinister entities. Maya woke in terror, realizing it was a nightmare, but Ita was gone from her side. Searching outside, Maya found her, but when she turned, her face wasn't her own. The nightmare was real. Ita was possessed again. Maya gently slapped her, snapping her back, and led her to the camp. By morning, the group packed to leave. Maya noticed Ita missing again and found her staring at a large stone, murmuring to herself. Ita confessed she felt at peace on the mountain, as if it were her home. Maya, unsure, stayed quiet and they drove back to the city. The journey was calm, but when they dropped Ita at home, she rushed inside without greeting her mother, leaving her puzzled. That night, Ita's condition worsened. Her body shook violently, and she laughed like a maniac, her eerie cackle filling the house. Her terrified mother called a religious teacher, but his chants had no effect. Ita's parents rushed her to the hospital, where doctors couldn't diagnose her illness. When Maya and her brother visited, Ita's father exploded, blaming Maya for convincing Ita to go hiking. He accused her of causing Ita's decline and threatened to call the police unless she fixed it. Maya, devastated and guilty, struggled at college, haunted by the ordeal. Meanwhile, in the hospital at midnight, Ita saw the same tall, thin witch from the mountain. Her health plummeted. Maya visited the next morning, when eating breakfast, and listened as Ita described terrifying visions. Maya, doubting Ita's mental stability, shared her concerns with friends at school who worried about Ita's strange decline. The next day, the friends visited Ita, praying for her recovery. While talking, Ita suddenly stared at the door, whispering that she was back. No one else saw anything, and despite their reassurances, Ita couldn't explain her vision. That night, her condition worsened. She shook, struggled to breathe, and vomited blood before passing away. Her sudden death shattered her family, friends, and neighbors. Just days ago, Ita had been fine, and now she was gone. Maya especially was heartbroken, tormented by Ita's father's accusations. Months later, she still saw Ita in her dreams. One day, Maya recalled a memory from the hike. Ita's father had secretly given her a bundle, instructing her to toss it into the mountain lake. Maya remembered seeing the entity there. Terrified, she told Ita's mother, who confronted her husband. He had forbidden access to a certain room, but in her anger, Ita's mother entered it. There, she found him performing a strange ritual, black magic. The truth unraveled. Ita's father, struggling in business, believed an enemy had cursed him. Seeking revenge, he consulted a sorcerer who gave him a cursed doll to discard far from home. That night, learning Ita was hiking, he gave her the doll to throw in the lake, unaware it would harm Ita. From that moment, as he delved into black magic, Ita's health had declined, her hair falling out, her nose and mouth bleeding. The curse had backfired, targeting Ita and her father. Ita's mother, heartbroken, accused him of killing their daughter. He wept, insisting he meant to protect the family, unaware the curse would claim Ita. He realized his actions had brought this tragedy. Time passed, and life moved on. The same group of friends hiked the mountain again in Ita's memory. There, Maya saw Ita's shadow and spoke to it, revealing she'd never forgotten her friend. With that poignant moment, the story fades to its end.